Look, Tyrone and Armagh obviously was the big one in Ulster. Obviously, it's not Ulster, but as an Ulster affair. Rian O'Neill sending off, obviously, after 28 minutes is a big one. I have to agree with some of the I thought it was unjust. Maybe I didn't get a proper camera angle off it, but I thought it was bloody. I thought it was ridiculous, to be honest with you, Stevie. I was pissed off by it. By watching
it
that.
was
Maybe go on.
No, it was harsh, but I'm just looking at a few things here now. Obviously Tyrone won the game 13-11, right? And for me, it was a real typical Ulster affair. Obviously, there was a lot of edge to the game. They don't like each other. That's very very evident. My only concern, but obviously for Armagh, is probably what Kieran McGeeney would say, and I would echo his comments as well. They're missing a lot of chances in it. And I suppose people are quick to sort of point the finger at Armagh. Oh, they're not playing the same football as last year, etc. But then again, they're missing a lot of chances. And I suppose when you're missing those chances, it obviously is probably more frustrating for you as a management team to sort of look in the game and say, well, in the first 10, 15 minutes, Armagh cut Tyrone open, had a couple of big goal chances. Niall Morgan pulled off some really, really good saves. If those goals go in, it all of a sudden becomes a different game, It's hard to know, and I've said this actually to a couple of people in the last week. It's actually hard to know where both sides are, okay, in the whole global thing, as in, because everybody that's in the Sam Maguire obviously has to be considered as contenders, bar those that have been knocked out, i.e. Clare and one or two other counties who are sitting at 0 points. But you have to obviously look at Tyrone and Armagh and think to yourself, if they put together two big performances, they're in an All-Ireland final. Do you know what I mean? If they can put together two big performances, which is capable. Now, at the weekend, McCurry, Canavan, Donnelly, Canavan, Hempsey, Kilpatrick, Mailer, they had 7 or 8 different scores on Sunday pass, or Sunday passed against Armagh. Yes, Darren McCoy scored 5 points, but not 13 is not going to win you in All-Ireland. And we've talked about this and we've mentioned this. I personally feel that the game has definitely evolved. I know there's a lot of criticism around the game, and I know there's a lot of talk about negativity, about long bouts of possession, etc., but we're picking out sort of, fleeting moments rather than actually looking at, the overall sort of context of a lot of games. There's a lot more scores now. There's a lot more scores coming off kickouts. There's a bigger emphasis on coaching, on kickouts, how you defend a kickout, how you attack from a kickout. There's a massive emphasis on how to break down the deep line defensive blocks. And I think these are all obviously going to open the game up naturally, for me, because if you're playing a defensive system like Louth, you give yourself a chance to compete and win games against higher caliber of opposition. But Kerry will not beat Mayo playing like that, and Mayo will not beat Kerry playing like that, because they know there has to be different elements in those bigger games. There has to be moments where you go after a kick out. There has to be moments where you take a chance. There has to be moments where you gamble. And that's how you're going to win those big games, And for me, Armagh scored 7 points. Tyrone scored 13. The week before, Tyrone scored 13 against Galway. I think Armagh, I can't remember the top of my head, I think they got 113 against Westmeath. That level of scoring is probably not going to be enough to make yourself a contender, come the business end. You're going to need that sort of golden 16, 17, 18 scores, in my point of view.
Tyrone, to me, have better attacking options, Stevie. Like McCurry and Canavan, to me, I think McCurry, I don't think he gets mentioned an awful lot in terms of being the top forwards in the country. But to me, he's gone another level now in terms of turning that corner left and right. His right side has really improved in terms of coming in off the left and popping over his right foot. He just looks so bloody sharp at the moment. Canavan as well has a look about Peter off him in terms of the way he solos the ball and jinx, the way he goes around players. The two of them are absolutely, they're a joy to watch, to be honest with you. I love watching the two of them. They're so bloody sharp in the way they take on a man and clip it over the bar from different angles. I think you're right with Armagh. I don't think that the offensive firepower, Stephen, to go that extra step. They might get to an All-Ireland semi-final, but when you get to the latter 4 stages, I just don't think they have enough. Look with with your comments with the negative football here, they're on about bringing I think it was on the Sunday game, Sunday night, obviously Sunday or Saturday or Sunday, whatever it was, Sunday night. They're on about bringing in a stop clock, or not a stop clock, but what you call it? Yeah, shot clock. Shot clock. And to me, like, that would just be an absolute disaster.
That would make the game. That would make it more defensive, because you're obviously going to have teams then that would flood back and run the clock out. Look, none of that. There's none of that needs. There's one small thing that might change things, in that the back pass rule in Gaelic football, like soccer, you can't give the ball back to the goalkeeper. Right, is an interesting rule, because obviously then it stops those long bouts of possession, like AKA Roscommon Dublin, because then it's a bit like the kick out. The kick out where the goalkeeper can't get it back. Goalkeeper might be able to take the ball from a forward pass, but can't maybe get it back from a backward pass. If it's a backward pass to a goalkeeper, it rules out that one where a team can go man to man, and you still have the keeper out the back with the quarterback dictating. So for me personally, that backward pass to the goalkeeper, that might stop a lot of the possession football, Enda, in my opinion. But look, the game is going to naturally evolve anyway. But come back to Tyrone, Tyrone have also as well, it's worth considering this, the likes of Hempsey, Niall Morgan, Matty Donnelly, Colin Kilpatrick, Connor Mailer, Peter Hart. I'm only naming now off the top of my head. I'm not, but they have a huge amount of experience as well. They're a very, very experienced group. They have won an All-Ireland, whether we want to talk about the COVID All-Ireland or whatever the frick you want to call it. This group have won an All-Ireland, and there is a huge level of experience among them. A lot of this group have also won underage All-Irelands as well, and there's a funny part of me that just would not rule them out of a big scalp and being in a semi-final in Croke Park. And I'll tell you this now, if Mayo or Galway or Derry or Dublin or Kerry were in a semi-final against them, there would be a little bit of a nervous edge about those teams, because you just know yourself, when they get to Croke Park, there's a bit of momentum behind them. They're a tricky customer, and that was a huge win for them at the weekend, because now they've got a game against Westmeath at a neutral venue. They will beat Westmeath, 100% will beat Westmeath, and they'll finish in 4 points. And it puts Armagh now under a little bit of pressure, in that they're probably going to finish now in third place in the group, which leaves them then in a situation where they face an away game in the preliminary quarterfinal, and that away game could be against Kerry. That's the reality.
Yeah,